Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, hope you're doing well. Second video of the day, the first one being Marvel Contest of Champions news. Of course, it's Monday, it's the Monday show, goes out. This second video is going to focus on Herald of Galactus, and it's going to be the Void one in particular, and Herald of Galactus difficulty, because it's something to talk about. I know a few people have been talking about this. I'm going to go over some counters which I found quite handy, as I needed to do a grind and I wanted to experiment a bit more. Now there are various champions to use for this. I must admit, after a while, when it comes to having, I don't know, more of an emphasis and a push to just use skill champions, I don't really like that, as I didn't really like that before. So it would be nice to bring in a whole host of different champions, not have the reduction in the values which we are getting from the Herald's difficulty. Either way, the team that I selected was one that rotated. As I said, I wanted to experiment with a few things. Captain America is quite cool. He has some dynamics with his signature ability, which allow him to purify debuffs. Unfortunately, mine isn't at 200 signature, and it's something I should really concentrate on doing a lot more. But hey, that's what the Herald's difficulty is for. Getting those signature stones, whacking them up to 200 signatures, and being more of a dynamic member of my team. Having a skill champion on the team does mean that he'll be able to get a better chance to shrug off a debuff, and as it consumes one kinetic potential, which basically means I'll be doing a lot of well-timed blocks, so a lot of parries, which fundamentally that's what you end up doing against that Void fight, is a lot of kind of like parries and hitting outs, or starting a chain of combos. And don't do the same thing in a row. So if you do like parry medium medium, or parry medium light, that's usually the best thing to do. Don't do parry light, because it won't be good. The enemy will evade. Yes, we're going to get on to Aegon as a counter in a moment with Tenacity and Nick Fury, but we're talking about Captain America at the moment. It's great, but it still is a champion that will go against the grain when it comes to that loss of attack value, which yeah, is annoying. But if you are dead set on throwing a load of the same type of things, like a load of lights in the same sort of row, then you do have Nick Fury with his tactical charges, which allow can't miss or be evaded. By the way, handy for any champion that does miss, but the evaded is 5 charges plus. So yeah, always very good Nick Fury, and does a lot of bleed damage. But you have to time it right when the champion is has got the poison up, where he's kind of going like, okay, well now he's poison immune. When he's bleed immune, because he switches between it, it is annoying. Ultimately, what I've got on screen at the moment is the last team that I used of experimentation. Blade is just, well, he's really good for all this. If you've got him with the villain synergy, he is going to be very effective. I put Stark Spidey in, and funny enough, Stark Spidey was able to clear a bit of like enemies going up to Mr. Fantastic, and through, actually. I think at times I was able to get through a few of those bosses. Not particularly handy going up against Void, but still, it was all about like saving the health pool of Blade and making sure he doesn't get any damage. He's kind of squeaky clean, ready to get into the fight, and was, in my opinion, one of the best options. A lot of parries to get the bleed on. Had to time it right with the bleed and poison immunity switching, and yeah, so when the poison immunity is about to start, so say a little bit in, I usually throw an SP1, do a bit of damage, stay in the block, parry, hit, light, medium, and then it's a case of just hitting, hopefully in an SP2, lots of bleed damage, hopefully in that window of opportunity I'm able to get the champion down. So Blade was kind of like a good option for that. And pound for pound, one of the best has got to be Aegon. It's good because it's got that skill class to it, which means that it's got that class advantage, and as well isn't subjected to that stupid pesky global. But it does mean if you've got at least 110 signature, or maybe 100 plus signature, it does mean by the time of like starting the fight at Ant-Man, which is the first fight you go up against, and then it's a case when you get to the end that you've got 150, just below 150. If you have a 200 signature, I can imagine you'll be absolutely fine. You'll probably snap it up very easily, but it's just a building case. And the fact is, when you get 150 hits, its critical hits grant a 0.5 per second true accuracy, allowing him to ignore auto block and evades. So this basically goes against that. If you repeat the same particular sequence of combos, so if you go light and then another light after, then there's a problem. because he'll then evade. So if you've got true accuracy, then that's a relatively fair counter to this. The same way that for tacticals with Nick Fury does the job against the evade. You get what I mean. But as well, on 100 signatures, you're able to shrug off debuffs. And let's face it, Void's going to throw debuffs on you left, right, and center. Let's just look at the quest itself. Now, looking over the top part here, this is the best path. This is the best path to go, going up. There's a lot more easier champions to go through than ever. This one here, Mixmaster. It's the Void fight that just kind of makes it a little bit frustrating. Mixmaster, where you've got like, don't repeat the same attack in a row. So basic attack, don't do light, unless you've got champions that will not nullify but suppress evade or evade fail. That would probably be the only reason as to what you do. And like I said, Nick Fury, Aegon, unless you want to do champions that go against the grain when it comes to physical perfection. So those are not skill. But that's up to you if you want to do that. Sprite, annoying. Each time the defender passively evades an attack, a fatigue debuff is placed on the attacker, reducing their critical rating by 1,015 seconds. It acts as a debuff with Void as the boss. So don't try and passively evade. I must admit, if you can, try and eat it into the block a bit, and that's why Captain America is kind of fun with the damage that he can do. Yes, you can time it well and get some good stuff, but we'll come to that in a moment. Shifting immunity. God, I need to kind of squint more to see this. Could it be any more lowercase with this writing? But yeah, switches between poison immunity, bleed immunity, annoying. As if you want to use debuff champions, you're going to have to put it on at the right time, like Blade, like Aegon with the SP2 if you are playing towards that. And Blood in the Water, while the attack is suffering from a debuff, the defender gains passive Fury granting attack. Yeah, so not good, but champions are going, you can take it into the block. Either way, this was straightforward enough, but I must admit, it was, for me, Blade that won the show. I actually found that more easier to use, and the AI was incredibly weird with this one. Not anywhere else, just here that it's weird. Yeah, an odd side quest. The more that I've done this, and to be perfectly honest, this is the first time I've done like a more of extensive grind. For this particular video, I would have grinded it out, this Void one here, 5 times. As since Wednesday, I haven't gone back into it. Largely, it's finding out what is the correct team for these particular ones and whether or not there is more of an experimentation to be had. Either way, it does seem that a lot of this is very specific. I do not agree with the fact that we've got this 50% reduction in certain champions being put in that are not the specific class advantage. I don't like that. Yes, there is the mixed day, but then is Kabam saying, hey, we want you to do the mixed day because it's a little bit more... but yeah, like for this, I just don't like it. I just don't think it's very good. Even more so when you're looking at like the far left-hand corner when you're talking about specifics of champions, like the correct counters for certain things. Is it annoying to have a buffet or something that it's not too much of an issue for me, but it's like, well, that could be an issue for some players. It is really down to the global, as I said, as being something of a frustration, as we can see it there. I'm kind of in the way of it, but you get my idea with it. It's like, it is annoying not to kind of have a broader spectrum of champions to use. And does it then point to going, okay, well, you must use the likes of Nick Fury, Blade, Archangel. I mean, Archangel's just there because I'm about to experiment with it, and also the likes of Elsa Bloodstone and Aegon, and etc, etc, some of the champions I've mentioned in this video. So it's like, well, that's specific again. We're going back to these bad habits of Act 6 where everything is just so specific. And I would have said it would have been best to reduce the, well, not reduce, don't have full stop in the physical perfection is, so that all champion classes, bar the one that's class advantage, have their base attack by 50% reduced. So it's like, it's annoying then, and it's too specific at times. I just do not like that. As I don't want to say to people, hey, you got Blade? Well, you don't have Blade, or he's bad. Nick Fury, we don't have it, bad. You know, you don't have this champion, bad. It's like, it's just not cool. I think a lot of people are in the same boat. They're doing it just for the rewards. That's really it. It's like, I know that some will go like, oh, I got rank 3 6 stars, it's easier, or they're incredibly skilled at the game, and that's great, well done, good for you. But I think it's then looking at other people that have recently become Cavalier, and they will really feel that this is like this is not for them. This isn't really good for them, full stop. The same thing with lesser, I think, with Northern Expeditions. There were some advantages to those that had somewhat of a limited roster, but again, it points to like 4-star usage for those that recently become Cavalier, for the diverse nature of going up against this type of content, which does put you back into that Act 6 kind of unpleasantness that we all kind of complained about with the big feedback of May. But you know, put it in the comment section. What do you feel about this? What other counters did you use against the Void difficulty, and which one of the weaker do you think is the most easiest? Put it in the comment section down below. And there we go, that has been the video. Check out some recent content over here, check out some other stuff down there. Also check out Rich's Realm. That's where I'm going to be posting Marvel Realm content. It won't be on RichTheMan, as I just want to keep both games separate from what I cover on them. So yeah, check out the stuff down there, check out some other stuff up there. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now.